It was a historic day in Malaysian politics as leaders from 4 coalitions and 19 political parties came together to present a united front for the Malaysian people. Held at the Umno headquarters, it may have been a bizarre scene for some, as DAP leaders spoke on the stage that would have been used to attack them several years ago. However, as chants of reformasi reverberated throughout the Umno hall, perhaps it may not be too bizarre to feel slightly optimistic. A call synonymous with Anwar Ibrahim's struggle after he was sacked by the party decades ago. The message at the Unity Government National Convention that day was clear: to forgive and forget and put an end to decades of political rivalries. We spoke to prominent political analyst and geostrategy expert Dr. Azmi Hassan and University Utara Malaysia political analyst Professor Dr. Mohd Azizuddin Muhammad Sani to make sense of the convention and the immediate future of this unity government. But before we can talk about the future, we must first understand the present sentiments within the parties. While leaders may sing a certain tune, the question is, are the grassroots singing the same tune?
To be honest, I was there last Sunday. And I feel awkward, talking to YB Hanayo, talking to Samsul Iskandar, political secretary of Datuk Seri Anwar, in WTC. For me, I felt very weird. Now, no doubt that for the grassroots of UMNO, I'm just telling them I'm not an UMNO member. I'm sure they feel very, very odd, very weird, this particular situation. Yeah, it's true that on the level or hierarchy of the leadership, there is no problem to it. But when especially UMNO grassroots members sees Anthony Loke from DAP in front of Dewan Merdeka on the podium, that's something that strike, the grassroots, whether they can accept this scenario or not. On the top level, there's no problem, I think. If for the time being, it's still not there yet. Because I use an example, especially at the grassroots level, for example, the Ketua Kampung, JKK, the cooperation between DAP and UMNO especially, is still not happening. So to answer your question, yes, at the grassroots level, there's still some questionable, the acceptance of UMNO and DAP, even though they are in the same government, is still not there yet.
Okay, I think first of all, we need to understand about the concept of unity government, and that's actually very unfortunate that we have unity government because of hung parliament. Then Yang Dipertuan Agong asked all political party to somehow combine or together to form I would say a coalition. Unfortunate because of we have for all these party, actually they are ready to have their own party, coalition party, for example, like Barisan Nasional Pergerakan Harapan, to form the government. But now they have to form what we call a super grand coalition, meaning much bigger, coalition in order to form government, and also and most important thing actually to bring stability to our politics and also to the government. So now they showcase to the world that now the government is stable, even though they have 19 parties altogether. But to convince the grassroots people, supporters, it will take time. But so far, my observation in Kedah and several other states, for example, my home state, Perak, I think people now already understand.
The acceptance of the grassroots could be further tested in the ongoing seat negotiations, a process which may be proving to be more difficult than portrayed by the top leadership.
Yeah, I think that this is a big issue. I think it's going to, depending on the seats allocation. When Datuk Nasution said 90% of the seat allocation for unity government is, I would say, he said that nearly over 90% completed. Well, I don't believe it 90% completed as yet. If it is completed, then it will be announced during the convention on Sunday. So I think it all depends on the seat allocation. For example, let's take a very extreme example in Penang, for example. Is DAP going to give away some of the state seats to UMNO, to Barisan Nasional? So it needs to be seen as yet. In Selangor too, not so much in Negeri Sembilan, not so much in Kelantan or Terengganu or Kedah. These are much easier states to allocate seats, but Selangor, Penang, and also Negeri Sembilan, I think that's where the acceptance of a grassroots will be tested.
Based on my discussion with parties from both sides, Pakistan National and also Unity Government, I think the formula is almost the same. First, I think they will give to the incumbent. So who wants the seat, then you can retain the seat. But for those, not the incumbent, meaning that seat that won by other parties, so they're going to look on the second place. Who get the second highest votes in that particular constituency. So they will give the seat to that particular party. That I think concern me a bit because probably there are people might be disappointed. They have no time to really to reconcile the problem with the people in the grassroots level. So that's why they need to decide early.
If the unity government parties can come together in seat negotiations and convince the grassroots and voters, then Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional may stand a chance to even secure a comfortable win in Kedah. Experts believe Selangor, Penang and Negeri Sembilan are practically already in the bag for Harapan with the help of BN.
If you look at the 2018 statistics plus the current last year general election statistics, the combination of votes from Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional is way ahead compared to past Bersatu votes. I think in most, not only in most Pakatan Harapan state and some of the seats in Kedah. So I would say that the convincing factor is that both Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional should win this particular state election comfortably. Not in Kelantan and Terengganu, but in Kedah. The status quo in the Pakatan Harapan state will remain for Pakatan Harapan. So I guess it all depends on the Malay votes.
Yeah, I think based on my observation and my team observation on all of the states, particularly all those 6 states, I can see that from the Pakatan Harapan states, meaning that Penang, like Selangor and Negeri Sembilan, I think in terms of, I can speak based on not only their preparation but the sentiments among the people. But from the sentiments among the people, I think they somehow prefer the government that can perform. With the government, meaning that combination of the BN and PH can have a chance to win. Because of Kedah known to be a swing state, and people of Kedah normally wants that the state have a good relation with the federal. So now they can see that the Menteri Besar kerana Menteri Besar Sanusi, is he a bit confrontational with the Prime Minister, with the government, with the royal, not royal Kedah, but in the case of TNJ, for example, So people see that the longer he rule or he lead Kedah, that will bring more difficulty for people of Kedahan. So in this context, for me, the government can actually have a chance to win in Kedah, but for Kelantan and Terengganu, the problem over there is Pakatan Harapan is not so strong in these 2 states, except for BN. BN, they have a strong base over there, but they lost in several elections already, particularly I think Kelantan since 1990. So for me, I think it's a bit difficult for them to win in these 2 states.
At the convention, Anwar credited the existence of the current unity government to UMNO President Ahmad-Zahid Hamidi and UMNO lawmakers. So while Zahid and UMNO have won over Anwar's praise, the party faces an uphill battle when it comes to securing Malay votes, and how it handles current issues will determine whether it remains to be a Malay party.
The problem is that, as we know, for the last 24 hours, the Kalimah Allah has been a great issue and PAS jumped to this particular issue, saying that UMNO is incompetent or just cannot handle this particular issue, even though they are in the government. And as we read the statement from Datuk Seri Azalina, the UMNO Ketua Penerangan, they are still working on this particular issue. So I guess UMNO is very careful on this particular issue, but the problem is that PAS is jumping, taking advantage of UMNO as if not doing something about this Kalimah Allah issue. So I guess the crux of the matter is how strong UMNO can attract the Malay votes. But if you factor in the Kalimah Allah issue, then UMNO is going to be facing a lot of resistance from the Malay voters.
However, according to Dr. Azizuddin, it's not solely about UMNO being a strong Malay party, but also the need for a full package that represents multiracial Malaysia.
Because for me, in order to survive as a nation, Malaysia need to be, because we are a multiracial party, so we need the collaboration of all political parties to be together, and have one voice and uphold one main policy. Like what we have today is Malaysia Madani, So that's why Anwar Ibrahim is key. But in order to bring stability, we need to have also strong Malay-based party, which is now UMNO represent that. So that's why I think UMNO is very important. And sometimes also we need to have a Chinese-based or even Chinese-dominated strong party within the government as well. We cannot rely on MCA or even Gerakan. So DAP is the strongest party that represents the Chinese. So by having these two parties together, actually it strengthens our politics, our nation. And now we no longer talk about if we manage to have a political stability, we now can focus on other things. Meaning that for economic aspect of it, to eradicate poverty, bring FDI, whatever. So that's why I think it's very important. PKR or PA is probably the main party, but it must be glued together with BN, led by, for example, UMNO. But DAP must be in there. But of course, when we talk about Malaysia, we're not talking about Peninsula, we talk about Malaysia, we need party from Sabah and Sarawak as well.
With these hurdles out of the way, the unity government will also need to be mature when it comes to how it handles internal conflicts. Conflicts which have seen countless parties torn apart in the past. If parties like UMNO, PAS and PKR could splinter, the pressure on 4 coalitions and 19 parties to remain united will be an even bigger challenge.
I use the Kalimah Allah is one of the clear example. Or when ex-Bangi parliamentarian On Kiaming said DAP need Khadi Jamaluddin and Syaril Hamdan. That's demeaning, meaning looking lowly at UMNO. It shouldn't be happening at that particular situation. So in order they want to convene the grassroots, they need to convene themselves first. And in order to convene themselves, don't go against each other. I think that's the best advice that I can give to the unity government.
They continue infighting within themselves, then you can see a break. I don't see a break within this 5 period because they still want to explore, and they feel comfortable in the government, even though they are fighting over several other issues, but they still feel comfortable. They want to serve the people and to show that they serve the people. That is the most important thing. But if infighting and grievances within the party, making party about to break, then I think probably they will decide to contest separately in the next election.
The unity government to be, holding their power right until to the end, because this is the best opportunity. Because this is the government that, as I see it, represent the real Malaysia, not only in Semenanjung, but more importantly, it includes Sabah and Sarawak. I think that's this particular situation that it is critical that the unity government succeed in the next state election.
The convention was a remarkable sign of political will, as rivals put aside their differences to work together for a future founded on harmony and political stability. Only time will tell if these commitments will withstand time, internal conflict and PN's green wave. I'm Prasad, reporting for KiniTV.